the Bombers are fine, though. I mean, like Bryson with 4 par 5s. Anytime I can get 4 par 5s with Bryson, I'll take Bryson still. I'll take my chances. But
all right, Big T. We got Uncle T giving out JT at 20-1.
I'm doubling down with TNT. I'm taking JT at 20-1. I don't even care that we like the same dude. I don't even care. I'm doubling down. TNT effect. We're gonna both take JT at 20-1. I gotta find something in the mid-range here. Let's see.
What do you like in that area? Corey Connors.
Yeah.
I'll take Burns. You take Connors.
Yeah, definitely. I want Connors. I'm taking Sergio at 80-1 for my mid-range. Harmon's 225-1. Dylan Smith just made fun of me. Sergio, yeah, he's 80-1. Dylan Smith, stop. Chris Myers says Big T is going to take advantage of himself tonight. That is not true either. The wife is waiting for me. I guarantee that. So stop.
Shit, wife's waiting for you.
She just text me during the show asking me when I'm coming up. So stop.
What is up, guys? Spring's close. That means baseball's right around the corner and the regular season starting at the end of March. And we're here to tell you a little bit about the content RunPureSports.com is going to be offering to our premium members. DC, we got a lot going on.
Absolutely. Baseball coming up. We're going to have everything you need here at Run Pure Sports. As you mentioned, webcasts, articles, core plays, statistical analysis, projections, all of it up on RunPureSports.com.
Come for the amazing plays. Listen to JT Hayes botch every single name. It's so much fun. Our team's been on a major heater in the NBA. We're going to carry on this momentum to the MLB season. Get on board right now. Sign up for a premium membership to runpuresports.com. It's only $80 a month. $80 a month. Monthly access to our premium MLB content. All the other sports, golf, MMA. It's not just baseball during the summer, people. We got a lot going on. NBA still going on once baseball starts. For an extra $20 a month, you get the bet side. I'm telling you, add it. Joey Workby, we're just killing it on the baseball side. He's perfect during the World Series. What are you waiting for? Sign up today. Start running pure.
What is going on, everyone? It's AP over here at Run Pure Sports. I'm here with my two main guys. We are bringing you the Strokes Gain Show, which is at the WGC match play event this week. I'm very excited for this. I think there's a lot of strategy that goes into play this week. I think tournaments are way different than cash games, and we're going to break that all down for you. First, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Again, I'm brought to you with my two main guys. I'm going to kick it to Uncle T first. We're just partying the other night. How's it going, my man?
Hey, doing real good. Needed a couple days off from recovering from you donkeys coming in town and giving Uncle T some shit. I know we had a great time, and glad you guys were able to all come in. And again, it was a good, fun 4 days getting to know you guys, in person. And I know, we had 10 or 11 of us or so that were there for 3 days plus. And I know a couple of them left this morning. I think Big T got rid of finally the last couple. I think it was one of his buddies from Colorado, Untitled, I think finally drove back this morning. But no, it was a great time. Glad you guys were able to come in, and it was a lot of fun. And now we get back to, the grind of looking at some golf and different sports. We have baseball on the horizon here in about 10 days or so. So good times here at RPS, and glad to be able to be on with you guys again here with this PGA.
Yeah, I agree. It was a ton of fun. We had a good time. I was sore the next day. I was kind of curious to how Pooh was feeling after, kicking his ass all those times. Actually, I think we split that series. I'm getting old. I'm old, out of shape. I got tired. Hoop, what's going on, my man? How was your week last week? I think it was a phenomenal week, but talk to us about how your week went.
Yeah, I mean, the golf went pretty well. Had a solid team there. In Desnide, it was only 5 out of 6, so really didn't have a chance to have the big ship, but it did well, made some money. And this week, obviously, a little bit different. The format's a little bit different, but there's an edge to be had, and really the biggest edge is just building your teams properly. And we'll definitely talk about that throughout the show and in different strategies and whatnot for the match play event. But it's a lot of fun, a little change of pace. And then in terms of the weekend, yeah, phenomenal weekend. Tony had us at the house. Amber, his wife, just treated us like kings. Just such a nice lady. Have no clue why she's still with Big T, but whatever. We'll figure that out later. But a lot of fun getting to finally meet a lot of the guys in person. Great camaraderie there. The mojo was phenomenal all weekend long until actually, you know what? The one issue we had all weekend long revolved around myself, AP, and Titletown. Me and AP had a little sweat in MMA Saturday night. We were all amped up to watch the MMA. We were fired up. Me and AP landed on the same team in the 555, I think, on DK. And we had a key fight. We had the first 4 wins on the slate, looking good. Ready to potentially ship. We get to the 5th fight, and Title's like, "Oh, I'm actually on the other guy. I'm on the one that is going against your guy." And he's like, "You know what? For the sake of RPS and the good mojo," he's like, "I don't really have much of a sweat. I'm going to root for you guys." All right. The second his dude lands a punch, Title drops down to his knees, gets like 3 inches from the TV. He's rooting for mine and AP's guy to get his ass beat. And that was very hurtful. So Title, if you watch this, we're still not happy with you. But overall, it was a great weekend. The recovery process is a little bit longer, but it was fun. Looking forward to doing it again. And eventually down the road, once everything gets back to normal, I mean, RPS, we'd like to do like a big thing with members and everything. It'd be phenomenal, a lot of fun. So a lot of good reasons to be members over at RPS.
Yeah, I do want to go through one quick story before we dig into this match play. We'll have plenty of time to break this stuff down. But yeah, so the card game. So I see Snyder in chat. Snyder, he's the old silent assassin, right? Don't say a whole lot. Got him in the poker game. What, guys? Probably we started at about 11, maybe midnight. Look over about 2:30, 3 o'clock, and Snyder's got just stacks of chips, right? Just stacks of chips. Big T sitting behind playing that old railbird, if you will, or whatever they call that, on the rail in the poker tournament. Talked hoop into a hand against Snyder. Goes all in. Snyder calls on 8-3 and just owned hoop. Took the rest of his money. And then after that, Snyder felt obliged to give a little bit back. Uncle T ended up winning probably about, $500-600. We had Title ended up winning. AP and JT, not so much. They had a little bit of a rough night on the card table, but, you'll have better days, right, AP?
Yeah, I mean, the best hand ever was like I get it in really good against JT Hayes, and I forget what he had. It was like maybe queen high, and he thought he had something else, but he didn't. Hits like a 3-outer on the river to scoop like a $200 pot. Very rough scene. And then Snyder gets all in with me with an open-ender, and I had him crushed. Hits it on the river again. So Snyder, again, was just running pure as you possibly could. He scooped me up. It is what it is. Had a good time. No complaints there. But we tried to run it back the next night, and it just didn't happen. I think we were playing bags, doing all that stuff. Is what it is. I'm sure we'll run it again sometime. I want my redemption. Want my money back. Yeah, guys, let's, this week I'm really excited for it. WGC match play event. It is. So we were just at the Florida Swing, coming off, really nice event. And we're going to Texas now, Austin, Texas. And the guys are playing at Austin Country Club in Austin, Texas. It's a par 71 track, Pete Dye design, right around 7,100 yards. All of that is fine and dandy. I really don't care too much about the course this week. I care about the strategy, and I care about the matchups. I think that is where the edge is at. So just to give everyone a quick rundown of what we're going to be tackling this week, we have a field of, I believe, 64 golfers. That's right? 64?
64.
Yep.
64, yeah. Tournament time. So it's kind of like, very similar to what we're going through in March Madness right now, which is kind of a ton of fun. But we have 16 different groups, and we have 4 seeds is how I look at, or 4 different regions is how I look at it. And if you're looking at the playbook, so the playbook this week for Run Pure members is going to look a little bit different this week. You're going to see a few different tiers or regions. You're going to see the DJ region, or Dustin Johnson, Morikawa region, Justin Thomas region, John Rahm region. And that's how we're going to break it down on the show tonight. We're going to go through each group. We're going to talk about who we think is going to win at each group and who we think is going to advance to the Sweet 16. And then we're going to, at the very end, we're going to talk about our winners, who's going to win this event. Last year, this is why this is so fun and it's great multi-entry week is, Kevin Kisner won last year. He's a very good match play player, kind of a specialist. And he defeated, and actually not last year, in 2019, last year this event did not take place, and he defeated Matt Kuchar. So a guy that's form is very, very bad. But again, just to hit on strategy, you gotta, the first thing you should do, besides reading all of our content, that's number one. You should sign up and use Heater 25 because that code is just about to run out. Opening day for MLB is next week on Thursday. So that code, which is Heater 25, is going to get you 25% off your first price at or whatever your first payment is at Run Pure Sports. So that is the first place to go. Read Coop's article, read the playbook, get into Discord. That is what you should do. First off, if you're not a member, we'll tell you how to do it just because we're nice and we want our followers to have an edge. So you need 3 players basically from each side. So if you're looking at, we talk about it in the DJ region, Morikawa region, you want 3 guys coming from this side. You want 3 players coming from the other side, which is the JT region, which is the John Rahm region. Ideally, you want 1 player from each group. In a perfect world, like if you had the absolute nut lineup, your lineup would look like this. You would have all 4 of the final 4 guys, battling each other on Saturday, Sunday, and you would have 2 players that made it to the Elite 8. Very, very difficult to do, but that is what you want to be building for. You do not want 6 golfers all from the same region. You're going to be absolute dust, and you're not going to win anything at all. So keep that in mind this week, and keep that in mind when you're watching the show. Honestly, if you have a bracket, you should go look at that, pull it up while we're breaking it down so that you can take notes on it. With that in mind, I think our housekeeping is all in order. Let's get to this first group and let's break it down. It's the DJ group. So in this group, and I'm going to start with you, Uncle T, but we're talking about Dustin Johnson, Kevin Na, Robert McIntyre, and Adam Long. And then we're going to talk about group 16, which they're in the same region, which is the Sung Jae Im's group. And he's with Victor Perez, Mark Leishman, and Russell Hindley. Uncle T, talk to me about these 2 groups. Who are you on? What's your strategy going to be with the top tier of the DJ region?
Yeah, one last thing to mention before we dig in is if everybody doesn't know the format, it's pool play Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So you'll play each player from that little 4-player pod, and then that will get you into the round of 16. So I'm sure everybody knew that, but I did want to just mention it. So each player is guaranteed, 3 matches unless they withdraw, which we have seen in the past, believe it or not. So, but as we get into the regions, I think this region is the weakest out of the 4, and we'll get into later on, which another one I think that's kind of weak, but similar to the NCAA, it just feels like, you can analyze and go through them and see where you really think there could be some upsets and where you think there could be some chalk that just gets through. In this region up the top, I just feel like DJ, he's got a 20-16 match play record, which is one of the best in this field. I'm going to have a hard time getting away from DJ in this region or in this little pod here because, Kevin Na worries me a little bit because he just kind of plods along. He doesn't hit it very far. Obviously, DJ will be playing, 40, 50 yards down the fairway more than Na. But I just don't feel like he's got enough to overpower DJ. And the other two guys, McIntyre and Long, 2 first-timers. So pretty cut and dry for me in this first little, 4-player pod. I think DJ comes out of there with actually relative ease. The next one's a little bit more interesting, although, Sung J M is going to be my pick to come out of here. Again, Victor Perez, first-timer. Leishman hasn't been playing that well, although he is a fairly good match play player, is Leishman. And then you got Russell Henley, who's been struggling a little bit. So, most weeks us three, get on here and talk about recent form. We talk about course history. We talk about things like that. This week, we really can only go – it's played here for the 5th time, but again, it's such a variant kind of a tournament where year to year you don't know who's going to make it. So I think really the only thing we kind of, at least for me, I'm going to rely on the ball strikers. I'm going to rely on recent form for my selections. And Sung J M is probably one of my favorite point per dollar players on the board this week. Is Sung J M. Let me see if I can go find his price. 8,800 on DraftKings. So for me, it's pretty cut and dry. Not to get too simple. I know we got a lot of regions to break down. It's Dustin Johnson in the first region and Sung J M in the second one.
Yeah, I like that. And yeah, I think the DJ section in his group is very cut and dry for sure. Hoop, I'm going to kick it over to you. What are you seeing in this top end of the DJ region?
Yeah, they've really hooked up a couple of these top end players, specifically Dustin Johnson and John Rahm. These guys have some pretty juicy draws. Dustin Johnson, it's tough to make a case for anyone else in his little pot of 4. Kevin Na, I'm just not seeing it. Like Uncle T said, he's a plotter. He's going to plot along this golf course. I can't imagine him taking down DJ. Robert McIntyre, no chance. Adam Long, no chance. It's tough to make a case. So just give me DJ, but he is the most expensive guy. So, that's where the strategy comes into play on this. Yes, I think he's the clear-cut guy to advance, but you sacrifice some stuff if you do play DJ. You got to take chances in other spots if you go DJ. Very likely to advance. It's basically even money. If you're betting on it, even money for him to advance out of this pod. That doesn't sound all that great, but that's the best odds basically for anyone to advance out of their little pot of 4. So very strong play. In the next group, I think Sung J M is probably the likely guy to advance. But man, there's a lot of plays like out of the 64. And I think I'm going to take my chances on a couple cheaper guys in this next group of 4. I'm going to specifically look at Mark Leishman. Yeah, not in the greatest form, but like Uncle T said, he has been able to find success in match play events. And then the other guy's Russell Henley. Played well last week, has decent odds to come out of this. His odds aren't all that different from Sung J. Sung J's plus 170 to come out of this. Russell Henley's plus 225. So there's not much of a difference there, and you're talking $1,300 in price. So I'm going to go with a couple of the cheaper guys here. I'm going to be on Leishman. I'm going to be on Henley, and I don't really know how much Sung J I'm going to have exposure to. Now, if you're not playing Dustin Johnson in this little group of 8, then yeah, maybe it does make sense to play some Sung J, but I'm going to have a lot of DJ most likely, which will make it hard for me to play a lot of Sung J.
Yeah, I think that's a very good breakdown. I agree with you guys on a lot, except for, Uncle T, Sung J. At first, I wasn't really too high on him. And the reason is very simple. I don't see how DJ doesn't get out of his region. They really hooked him up. And like Hoop said, John Rahm up. And I think they hooked John Rahm up even more. And that's going to be one of the last groups that we talk about. I absolutely love Rahm. But Robin McIntyre, Adam Long, they stand no chance. It's really Kevin Na, and it's telling in the group odds. DJ's plus 100 to win his group. Even money basically to win his group, where everyone else is a 3-1 or worse dog. So for me, it's the clear guy is DJ. And then when you look at this next group, Victor Perez, no way for me. Russell Henley, I agree with Hoop there. The odds, I was looking at the group odds. Henley 225. Versus Sung J 170 and getting a little bit of savings there. And so for me, I'm under on a lot of these guys in this group just because I worry about their upside eventually having to face DJ, mainly with Sung Jae In, because I do think in the 8K range, we're going to have some guys with a little bit more win upside. But I will say, Hoop and Uncle T are starting to talk me onto it a little bit. But for me, it's pretty cut and dry in this region. I think Dustin Johnson wins his group, and I think Russell Henley wins his group. Uncle T, you were on DJ and M, right?
Yeah, definitely Sung J M. Again, we'll get to breaking down a lot of these first timers, and there's a lot of them. And I know there's been some talk around the industry with some different podcasts and such that people are putting a lot. I mean, again, I could clearly be wrong. People are putting, I think, in my estimation, way too much into first timers in this event. That doesn't bother me in the least. I don't know where you guys stand on that, but especially these top end golfers, maybe when we get down to some of these guys that are, ranked, 50 to into that 50, 64 range where, you know what I mean? Maybe they do get a little bit, some of these top end guys, and we'll get to some of them. But again, I just wanted to throw that out there because we're going to be talking about a lot of first timers, and you're going to see Uncle T liking a lot of these first timers, and it's just not going to be a factor for me this week. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I'm with you. I mean, that's the difference between RPS and the rest of the industry. I mean, we don't fall victim to that crap. I mean, there's a ton of guys in this field that haven't played in this sort of format before. And yeah, okay, it's a little bit different if you're talking about 150 golfer field and it's a guy's first time out and hasn't seen the course. You're going one-on-one, and a lot can happen when you go one-on-one. And you don't have to be 100% on top of your game when you're playing someone one-on-one in golf. Now, if you're going to go out and win a golf event where there's 130, 150 people, you got to be pretty damn close to your A game to win, and you got to be pretty damn close to perfect to win. Not the case in this format.
Yeah, so I mean, Uncle T, are you saying Sung JM is he's a first timer? Are you saying he's like elite cream of the crop? Is that what?
No. I mean, again, I just wanted to set that up because I know when I did my research and again, you guys had me out late all weekend. I didn't even get a chance to really refocus Uncle T. He's a little bit older than you guys. I had to take another.
Uncle T.
I had to take a day.
I saw you, man.
It would took me a day and a half to recover from you donkeys. I was on radio last night, and then today I finally got into digging in. But I found myself liking a lot of these first timers, so that's why I really wanted to mention that. Not that I don't think Sung JM will beat DJ in round 2, if that's what you're asking.
I got you. And then Hoop, DJ, and did you say M or Henley?
I'm gonna surprise you guys a little bit. I'm gonna say Mark Leishman. I like Leishman.
I like that call, actually. He's someone I overlooked, and I haven't finalized my allocations yet. But I do think he could be one of those sneaky guys too that if he wins his group, he's gonna have a ton of momentum. And that's another thing to think about too, is there's some of these guys, we'll get to them later. I think if they win their group, they have more upside than other guys. They're going to have a ton of momentum. So we'll get to that. It's not something I'm looking at too heavily in this first 2 group. All right, let's go down to the bottom half of the Dustin Johnson region, which is Group 9 and Group 8. That is Webb Simpson, Casey, Mackenzie Hughes, Taylor Gooch in Group 9. Tyrell Hatton, Lee Westwood, Sergio Garcia, Matt Wallace in Group 8. Uncle T, talk to me about these 2 groups. How do you see it going here?
Yeah, these are 2 interesting groups for me because, Group 8, you got all of the Euro guys, right? You got all of them stuffed in one nice little bracket there that could be, that could be a fun 3 days of seeing how these guys go. I'm going to go a little bit different direction probably here. Went a little bit more chalk in those first 2 with DJ and M. But first off, again, Westwood clearly been playing, some unbelievable golf, right? He's contended now 3 weeks in a row. I think maybe a week off or not a week off, but a week off from the regular event going into this type of an event. I don't know where his focus will be. He's a pretty decent match player. He's 35 and 35, has one of the most matches ever in this type of format. I'm going to go away from Westwood. I'm going to go away from Garcia. And I was going between Tyrell Hatton and Matt Wallace. And I think I'm going to pull a surprise here. I think I'm going to go with Matt Wallace in this one. And I know it's definitely going to be the contrarian play, especially in this group. You've got 3 other really good golfers, 3 experienced golfers above him. But I just think Matt Wallace, there's really no other reason. He's got a 1-3 match play record. So you might be asking, what am I looking at? I don't know. I just think there's so much variance in these, just like the NCAA tournament. There's going to be upsets. There's going to be guys that it just looks on paper. You're looking like, wow, how is Wallace going to come out of this bracket? You know what I mean? You got 3 guys there that clearly are probably better players, but this one's more of a hunch for me, to be quite honest, guys. I'm going to go with Matt Wallace in Group 8. And then in Group 9, everyone's talking about Casey. Everyone's talking about Casey. It's like there's no way one guy can be that clear cut to come out of a little bracket. Webb Simpson has not had a very good record in match play. I get it. Taylor Gooch got in off of his, T5 finish at the Players. So he's a Texas native, likes the Pete Dye tracks. I'm going between either Gooch or Webb Simpson in this bracket, but I think I'm going to pull another upset. And I think this 8-9 bracket is going to be, you know what I mean, a little bit contrarian for me. I'm going to go Taylor Gooch in Group 9 to maybe pull an upset and get through there. He's just been playing some good golf. He's on a run right now, and I think it carries over into this week.
I like that call. No, I mean, Gooch is definitely going to be kind of one of those dark horse type players. And I mean, yeah, Webb Simpson has kind of struggled in this format, so I could definitely get behind that. Hoop, talk to me about these 2 groups, Group 9 and 8.
Yeah, so I mean, one of my things in PGA DFS, I don't know if it's a good thing, I don't know if it's a bad thing, but when a guy's been treating me well, I just can't get off him. And Paul Casey has been treating me very, very well. I've been on Paul Casey the last few weeks. He's been playing some phenomenal golf. I know he's going to be popular. I know people are going to play him. I know a lot of people are talking him up. I can't turn my back on someone that's treated me well, so I'll be on him. I don't care if he's highly owned. So that's the guy I'm taking in that group. 6,100 for Mackenzie Hughes. When you start building these lineups, you're going to have to take some chances. You're going to have to play some of these punk guys. If you want exposure to DJ, if you want exposure to Bryson, who we're going to be talking about very soon, if you want exposure to John Rahm, who has a very easy path, I think, you're going to have to take some chances on cheap guys. I don't mind playing a 6,100 Mackenzie Hughes. He has some upside. We've seen him play well. So Paul Casey, Mackenzie Hughes for me in this range. Don't hate the Taylor Gooch call either. I mean, I don't mind that. I don't know if he's going to find his way into my lineups, but I don't mind that. I mean, you got to make some cuts here. So this next region, that's a tough one for me because you got Hatton, you got Westwood, you got Garcia, and even Matt Wallace. Uncle T likes Matt Wallace. I wouldn't be shocked if any of these guys come out of this region. I think you can make a strong case for any of these guys. So for that reason, I am probably going to be underweight in Group 8 because I just think it's a very high variance situation. I think all these guys are very live. I'm going to have some exposure, but not high exposure to anyone, to be honest. And you kind of have to do that once you go through here. I mean, there's 16 different groups. You can't get overweight to every single group. So this is a group, although there is some there's big names here and guys that could make it deep into this tournament, probably going to be underweight on all of them. I'll have some exposure to Hatton, probably to Westwood and Garcia, but it's not going to be a ton of exposure. I think they all are very live to come out here, and even Matt Wallace. I mean, I like Matt Wallace a little too. So the official pick for me. So up top in Group 9, it's going to be Paul Casey. In Group 8, I'm going to go with, I'll just go with Westwood. I mean, he's 7.7K. He's the cheapest out of those 3. So Casey and Westwood, but I'm going to be underweight in Group 8 for sure.
Yeah, Hoop. I mean, that's such a good point. Like, if you're playing cash this week versus tournaments, in my opinion, I think the strategy is going to be different. Like, if I were playing cash, which I'm not, but if I was, I would try to find the 2 highest upside guys who have the easiest paths, which I think is Dustin Johnson and John Rahm. If you click those 2 guys, you need a 6,100 guy. All you need him to do is kind of prod along, get some points, and not be super terrible. And then you can you can kind of bend the rules. But I think to bank some of these large field tournaments, you have to make stands like you talked about. You can't like get overweight all of these guys. You got to make some stands, and you need the right rules in the optimizer. So I spent, if you're in Discord, I spent a good 45 minutes today dialing in my rules because you got to have them right. So that, like, for example, like one of my rules is, if I play DJ, no one else in his group is going to be in my lineup, and only one one guy in DJ's whole region can actually be in that group, because you got to have 3 from one side, 3 from the other. And so, there's going to be a rare case where you're going to have, or there's going to be cases where you're going to have obviously a guy, 2 guys in the same region. So you just can't get around that. But you need to make sure the rules are set up perfectly this week. But yeah, with that in mind, like for me, Webb Simpson is kind of a fade. I just, when I'm looking at a golfer this week, I'm willing to eat Paul Casey chalk, and I'm definitely going to get overweight on him. With that in mind, we talk about it all the time. I don't really care about ownership in PGA. I don't think it's going to take a lot to get overweight on him, but I'm going to have him in a ton of, if I don't have DJ in one of my builds, it's most likely going to be Paul Casey from this region, because I think that his upside is that high. And the reason is simple. His form is phenomenal right now. He's proven that he's very good in this format. He's played this course a ton. And I love ball strikers when it comes to match play. A guy that when you're playing someone else and you're a good ball striker and you're a better ball striker than the other guy, and you see him hit him off the tee and you're going to hit the fairway, you can just play that strategy out. And that's what Paul Casey's are good at. Tyrell Hatton is good at. Kevin Kisner, these guys that are very consistent with their game. That's kind of who I want to target. So for me, Group 9 is very simple. Paul Casey is where I'm at. I do like the Gooch call, for value since he's 6,600. And then in Group 8, I agree with Hoop. It's a tough group. The stands I'm personally making is I'm fading Matt Wallace. I'm fading Lee Westwood. And I'm having I'll have Hatton, and then, maybe a sprinkle of Sergio. But I could see myself fading Sergio too. And then I agree that this Group 8 is it's a tough group. Any of those guys could get through and win. Then they got to face Paul Casey. Then they got to face Dustin Johnson. That's a really, really tough route to go down. And so for me, it's Casey. And then I really think Hatton is the guy that comes out of Group 8. Again, Uncle T, could you just give our your 2 winners one more time?
Yeah, excuse me. I'm going Taylor Gooch, and I'm going Matt Wallace. This is going to be a couple pods where I'm going to take a couple chances. There's just too many matches in a 1-day scenario, in a 3-day scenario with pool play, but each individual, it's just too much that can happen in match play. We're going to see a bunch of upsets. This is a quadrant here where I'm going to go with 2 underdogs. I'm going to go with Gooch, and I'm going to go with Wallace. I will have exposure to Casey. I have him in my tiers right now because the way we have our tiers designed this week is our favorite overall play as far as, salary, right? I guess is how I do it. And then what an underdog play would be. So I think it's a little bit different. So if people see that I have Casey on there, it's not that I don't like Casey. I'm just trying to get some leverage, in some form of this bracket. And right now I'm going to take some more chances on Gooch and Wallace.
I like that. And Uncle T, the reason I'm asking you again, because I'm taking notes, because I like stealing your guys' plays, because that's how I ship.
Well, right now you got four, for the most part that you've liked Casey, and you said Hatton or maybe Sergio. So, you've been, and again, I'm sure you're going to have some upset picks. This is what's good about doing these shows is, we're going to find our underdog picks and our guys off the radar picks in different areas of the bracket. And that's why I think it's so interesting.
I agree. Hoop, you're on Casey, and then who is your main guy out of 8?
Yeah, I'm going to be underweight in Group 8. I mean, I'm not going to be overweight on anyone. The guy I'm going to have the most exposure to is probably Lee Westwood, because he's the cheapest out of those 3, Hatton, Westwood, and Garcia. And
did we get confirmation if his lady's on the bag this week? I know she took a week off because that was key.
We need that. Yeah, I could change my tune if we know the lady. If Pillow Girl's on the bag, we know that. I mean, that makes a big difference.
Yes.
And I do not know. That's something we'll have to find out, though. Maybe someone in chat can definitely let us know. And if you haven't yet, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. We're running a promo up until MLB season. Use the code HEATER25 for 25% off. Thursday, MLB's here. I'm very excited. We are working behind the scenes to get the MLB product up and running. It's going to be fantastic. And before we dive into this next region, I just want to talk about, there's a crowd out there that says, their members don't win. And I think that's bullshit. That's absolutely bullshit because they do. I know Hoop had a phenomenal week. Mangone had a phenomenal week last week. Before we talk about a few of these members that won, Hoop, talk to us a little bit about your process. What you hit over the weekend. Was it all being at Big T's house? Was it just running good there, or what were you doing?
Yeah, the big T heater kind of rubbed off on Hoop. Showed up to his house, hopped in that NBA slate on Friday, and boom, hit for 80K. The next night, boom, hit for like 25 or 30K. And then last night had the 100K win. So, all it took was a little trip to Kentucky to get things done. Got to give Uncle T a little credit too. Just good mojo being around the Niehaus family. There's like typical Kentucky family. They got like 40 people that show up to family events. It was a lot of fun. Got the uncles, we got the cousins. It was just a lot of good mojo. So it rubbed off. And then last night, I had the big one, but then our member, I don't know, do you know how to pronounce this guy's name?
I got it right here. So we're doing a little promo now. Go follow us on Instagram. It is at Ron Pure Sports over on Instagram. If you have our logo, send us our screenshot there, tag us there, and we'll feature you. Today we're featuring our guy, Slick Darula, who took down 100K. And he sent us that screenshot. Congratulations again, Slick. That is a monster win, life-changing money. We love to see it, and that's why we're here. That's what motivates us. And we want to see more. I want to see members win. I don't want to see Hoop. I don't want to see Tony win any more money. He's won all the money. We don't want to see Big T win any more money. We want to see, we want to see the members win. So I'm rooting for all the members. And that is so. Again, tag us over at Instagram. Our is at Ron Pure Sports, obviously. Tag us there, and we will feature you on a show. Again, big congrats to Slick Darula. Monster win. All right, boys, let's get down to this next group, which is, it's funny. I titled this the Colin Morikawa region. It's not the Colin Morikawa region, not even close. It's the Big Daddy Bryson region, Bryson DeChambeau. But for some reason, I believe Colin Morikawa was the guy that popped up when I was naming this. Huge mistake on my end.
Oh, he's the number. Morikawa is the 4 seed, so technically,
that's why. Incredible! I can't believe it. I don't even think he makes it out of his own group. But let's start up with Bryson. Let's start up with Group 5, Group 12. Group 5 is Bryson, Tommy Fleetwood, Siwoo Kim, and a guy I have never heard of, Rosner. I just already deleted him out of my group. Group 12, Tony Finau, Jason Kokrak, Willie Z, Zalatoris, and Dylan Fratelli. I'm gonna start with you, Hoop, this time. Talk to me about these two groups. What are you doing with this region?
Very easy region for me. I love Bryson this week. I don't want to spoil the ending of the show, but I think he has a chance to ship this thing. And he might be popular, but man, I feel like the success he's had recently in a head-to-head, match play format has to be pretty damn intimidating for some of these guys. I think he is going to roll in this event. I love Bryson. Tommy Fleetwood can F off. I was one of these. It's like the worst thing in PGA DFS when you're off a guy, and you finally get on him and he sucks. And that's what happened with me last time out. I got on Tommy Fleetwood. It cost me. I learned my lesson. I used to love Tommy Fleetwood. I don't care what anyone says. He's just not the same guy when he comes over here and golfs. Had that one decent event, fell right back down. Screw Tommy Fleetwood. I'm not playing him. Siwoo Kim, I feel like with Siwoo Kim, you're either a Siwoo Kim guy or you're not. It's a guy you typically play or it's a guy you typically don't. I just don't play him. And I get why people play him. He pops up and does well at random events. Not for me in a bracket with Bryson. And then the guy's name that we don't, Antoine Rosner, never heard of him. I just won't be playing him. Group 12, I love Tommy Fleetwood. Not Tommy Fleetwood. I don't love Tony Finau. Speaking of Tony Finau, I'm a Tony Finau guy. You guys know I'm always on here. I love Tony Finau. with this event though, you gotta make some cuts. And I think there's 2 guys in this region that have a chance of advancing. So unfortunately, I don't think I'm going to have Tony Finau this week, and it pains me because I love Tony Finau as a golfer. But the 2 guys I think that are live to win this Group 12, Jason Kokrak, $7,500 on DK. He is plus 260 to come out of here. I think he is live to advance. I like his price tag. I'll be on him. One of my favorite plays overall in this entire field is Will Zalatoris, 7.9K plus 280 to come out of this group here. I think he's just a really good golfer, and I think he's going to have a very bright career, and I think he can advance here. So, for me in this group of 8 guys, it's Bryson. I love Bryson, Jason Kokrak, and Will Zalatoris. And I got, Bryson advancing in his group of 4, and I got Will Zalatoris advancing in his group.
I'm so glad you said Willie Z. I think he's well respected among his peers. He's a ball striker, exactly what we want to. Man, he's the guy that if he's facing Bryson, I think he could take it to him. So I love that play. Uncle T, talk to me about these 2 groups. Are you in agreement with Hoop, or are you going a different route?
Yeah, very similar thoughts as Hoop on these 2 groups, and we'll start with Group 5. When I first looked at this group, obviously Bryson clearly is the headliner and has been, probably the best player in the world the last couple of weeks, the last month. Then I looked at his match play record. It's not the greatest. It's not his favorite format. Some guys love to play match play. It hasn't been his best. He's 1-3, and I kind of am going to try to clearly overlook that because, like Hoop said, the rest of the guys in this group, I just don't see it. Fleetwood has been so inconsistent. He's got a decent match play record, 9-8, but I just don't see it. I can't imagine him taking down Bryson, even if Bryson plays poorly right now. I think he's playing well enough to beat Tommy Fleetwood. Siwoo Kim, I'm on board with Hoop. Usually, if you don't play him, you're not going to play him if you like him. I know Coop, he did a great article up on our site about the match play today that was up. If you guys get a chance, go read it. He's kind of a Siwoo Kim guy, and there's nothing wrong with that. But I don't like him this week. And again, I've never heard of the other guys. So I think he got in virtue of a T5, I think, last week, and won't have any shares of him. So for me in Group 5, it's definitely Bryson. Group 12 is one similar, similar thoughts to Hoop. I'm not playing Tony Finau. I just think for the price and the other guys that we're going to mention here, Kokrak and Zalatoris. If you look at our core plays this week, I went with Kokrak, but I even said in my write-up that it was razor thin for me. I like both of these guys. I almost put them both in, but clearly I couldn't because they're in that same pot. I would have loved to have had these 2 guys in opposite, sides of the bracket because I like them both. Kokrak is coming in probably one of the hotter guys on tour, really, right? 3 straight top 10 finishes. And then Willie Z, he's a guy that we're going to mention a lot on the Tuesday show because I just think this kid's a stud. So, and Fratelli, I think, is just way out of his league here in this group. I think Fratelli probably goes 0-3 in this little pod. So, Group 12, it's a tough one for me. I'm going to go Kokrak, but it's literally by a very thin margin. So, in Group 5, Bryson. Group 12, I'm going to go Kokrak by a little bit.
Yeah, so we all agree on Bryson. The only argument that I've heard that is somewhat relevant is we're at a Pete Dye track, and Siwoo plays good at Pete Dye. It's Bryson. I mean, it is surprising.
Layered rough,
and yeah. I mean, when you look at Bryson in these. He's what 3-0 against Matt Wolff alone, like in these final pairings. He's what 2-0 against, he's beat Lee Westwood each time. They both fell to Justin Thomas though on that second time. But so it's Bryson. I'm not I literally zeroed out Fleetwood, crossed off the Rosner guy, and I'm not. I'll have very little of Siwoo. For sure. And then, I agree with you guys. Tony Finau is the one guy I'm fading to. Complete fade for me. I will say we do got to give credit where credit's due. Coop talked about how Finau struggles on these Pete Dye tracks, and it showed. if he comes out and just struggles, like in these formats, if you get skunked right out of the gate, it's tough fighting back. I mean, I've played in these events where it's match play. I know I'm not a pro. I'm not even that good at all. But I know, like, man, if you come out and get skunked right away, it's kind of deflating. And so if that happens with Finau, I really worry about him, especially when, you know, he's going to face Zalatoris and Kokrak. Fratelli, I agree with you, Uncle T. For me, Willie Z, hands down, coming out of this group. So Bryson and Willie Z. Let's go down to groups 13 and 4. Group 13, Victor Hovland, Abe Answer, Wiesberger, Kevin Streelman. Group 4 is Morikawa, Billy Horschel, Max Homa, JT Poston. Hoop, finish off the Colin Morikawa region for us.
Yeah, so this is a group of 8 where I'm going to have a lot of exposure. There's going to be a lot of these guys that I'm playing, and it's not the top guys. You know, like I said, you just can't play all the top guys. You got to make your stands. I prefer the dudes that have the very simple routes. Like we'd already talked about Juan and DJ, a very simple route. These guys would have to battle, I think, to get through. I love Hovland as a golfer. I play him a ton in regular formats. I will continue to play him in a ton of regular formats. I'm not playing him here this week. I love Colin Morikawa, and I know Snyder's listening, and he's going to be upset that Hoop's not on Colin Morikawa, but I just can't do it for 10-4 when I look at his group and I look right across the way at John Rahm's group, and it just doesn't compare. So with that being said, I do have a lot of interest in some of these other guys. Abraham Answer at 7-7. He's plus 225 to come out of that group of 4. And it's a good number for him. So I like Answer. One of my favorite plays on the board is Kevin Streelman. He's only 6.3K. Kevin Streelman, 6.3K in this event. Now, you know, is it very likely that he wins this thing? Hell no. But can he come out of this group? Yeah, I think he can. And I think he could potentially advance too. Like Kevin Streelman's solid. Sneaky birdie upside too. He's a guy that seems like he's streaky. When he starts making birdies, he makes a ton. And this is the sort of format that you want that in. So definitely like some Streelman. Then in that group 4, Colin Morikawa's group, I like all 3 of the other guys. I like Horschel. I think Horschel's a guy where this format fits him quite well. Max Homa is one of my favorite plays. And then Poston at 6.3K. I'm fine playing Poston at 6.3K. So really like this group, you know, group 13 and group 4. I really like some of the cheaper guys. It allows me to play the DJs and the Brysons and the Rahms at a much higher clip. So that's kind of my stance here in this range.
I like it. And also, guys, start thinking about who you're going to have in your Final Four. We're going to add that in at the very end. We're going to go Final Four and then who we think is going to win. I agree with a lot of those calls that you're on, which always makes me feel really good. Hoop, Uncle T, you know, I mean, groups 13 and 4, very interesting groups to finish off the left side of this bracket. How do you see it unfolding tomorrow?
Yeah, just a slight disagreement on this one from what Hoop said. But again, Hoop brought up some really good points on his reasoning for his picks. I'll start with group 4. I'm off of Morikawa as well. Again, you look across just to the right of the bracket with that we'll get to in the last region with John Rahm. I just, you know, with the difficulty or easiness, I guess, of his region as opposed to over on the left side where we're at now, you know, I'm going to definitely side with Rahm and even JT up top. But anyway, I'm definitely going to fade Morikawa. He's definitely not a bad play if you wanted to start that way. It's just not going to be for me this week. I'm out on Poston as well. This group's going to come down to either Horschel or Homa for me. Horschel has got a really good match play record. Where is he? Horschel, where was Horschel? 5-5, which might not seem like much, but if you're around 50% or a little bit above, you know, in match play, that's actually one of the better. You know, I mean, that's pretty good. You know, you're not going to have everybody, you know, way over as far as win-loss. So 5-5, very respectable. But I think I'm going to probably go side with Max Homa, another maybe a little bit of a contrarian play. I think he plays better on tougher courses. He won the Genesis, you know, back in, what was that, back in early February or mid-February on a, you know, a tougher track out there. And I think I'm going to side with Homa in this group, and it's very tight between him and Horschel. But I think I'm going to go with Homa. And then the other bracket was, which one was that, 13? Yeah, 13. So this is where I have a little bit of a disagreement with Hoop. I think Answer is going to be one of the more popular plays because he's a very good play and he's priced appropriately. Or actually, he's priced a little bit less than what I would think, which is going to lead to people gravitating towards Answer. But I'm really high on Victor Hovland here. He's one of my guys that when I talked earlier about the first time guys, it's just not something I'm going to worry about. This guy, he's coming off, I think he was coming off a couple missed cuts. And but before that, he was playing really good golf, one of the best, on tour. Let me try to pull him up real quick so I can get you guys some info. Yeah, he got cut at the Players, 49th at the Arnold Palmer. But before that, he had 5 out of 6 tournaments where he was 6th or better. So I don't mind maybe if people look at maybe the recency, of the last two events and are going to come off of Hovland, I'll gladly jump on board. So Hovland's actually one of my favorite plays on the board. So I'm going to go Hovland there. And Wiesberger and Streelman, I just don't have any interest. Unless you are trying to make a quote-unquote stars and scrubs lineup, which I probably won't do. I may try to build one team that way, but for the most part, I'm not going that direction, just to be fully transparent. But Wiesberger and Streelman will not be in any of my lineups. Again, unless you're trying to save salary, I just can't see either one of them. Again, I know you guys, Hoop clearly thinks different, and that's it, that's good. We got different thoughts, but I like Victor Hovland a lot in this group. So I'll pretty much leave it at that.
Yeah, I can respect that. This bottom section is where 3 of my favorite values come, or 3 of them. I have a bunch of favorite values, especially on the other side of the bracket, but 3 of my favorite values come down here. And I get that with Hovland. I think with how they set this up, and I know we'll get to it, but like John Rahm, John Rahm and DJ, and then Bryson, I think they got so much upside. If I'm playing Victor Hovland, or if I'm playing like a Webb Simpson or one of those guys in the 9K range, I have to really limit my exposure to like a Rahm, who I think, could definitely win this week. And so Hovland is gone fading, Uncle T. I'm sorry, man. I don't think I'll have any shares of him. It could come back to haunt me. He's what you want, like in a golfer. I'll get you that in a match play event. Not much rattles him. I love Abe Answer in this range. He has there's very little that's wrong about his game, especially in a format like this. He hits fairways, he hits greens, and he makes 2 putts. Hits fairways, hits greens, makes 2 putts. He doesn't make mistakes. And so he's going to allow these other guys to make mistakes. And even if like Hovland, like if he ties Hovland, which I think he could do, I think he beats Wiesberger. I think he beats Streelman. And so like, I really love Abe Answer's odds of coming out of this group. I want to put a bet in on him. I had the odds at 2.
You might not have to go very far for that bet.
That?
You might not have to go very far for that bet.
Well, I can get odds though. I can get odds.
No, boo.
We get odds at 225. So you're going to give me 225?
I will. Yeah, I will say this again. Your points are valid. I don't not like Answer. I just like Hovland that much, and you guys are not on board. And again, I understand your reasoning. We'll know tomorrow. A better idea because they play each other right out of the gate tomorrow. So it's Hovland and Answer tomorrow. So we'll be able to get a good idea if one of them.
Slide on in, Uncle T. Slide on in, man. Slide on in. Let's go.
Yeah. So.
And the other 2 guys, I get it if you're punting, especially like Streelman. Fine with definitely not going Wiesberger. And then group 4, I've already kind of been talking smack to Snyder. I think Colin Morikawa's not going to make it out of this group. Max Homa's playing so good right now. Like this dude, and he's a ball striker. So like we have 3 legit, really good, strong ball strikers. One with good experience here, and Billy Horschel, who I have a lot of interest in. And then 2, and Max Homa, I think it's a tough draw for Morikawa. He's plus 140 or 138. So, I mean, those odds are like, he's definitely the favorite to come out of this group. I don't know what it is called a gut feel. You can't play all of these guys. I think Bryce. So, I think Rahm and DJ, we're talking 10K and up. I think they have way more upside here than Morikawa. He could definitely prove me wrong, but he needs to bring his putter and he needs to have a red hot tee to green game, because he's going to have 2 other guys in his group that are going to be right there with him, not making too many mistakes, in Max Homa and Billy Horschel. In Group 4, the bottom group here, I think Billy Horschel comes out. And in Group 13, I got Abe Answer coming out. Uncle T, you got Hovland. And in Group 4,
Hovland
you had
and Homa. I'm going Homa.
Okay, I like that. And then Hoop, you had.
I'm gonna go Answer and Homa. Homa is one of my. I'm with Uncle T on Homa. I think Homa is one of my favorite plays. I think in the entire tournament.
Yeah, when I did my first run, just kind of the stances I'm taking on some of these value plays to mix and match. You got I'm showing like 35 to 40% type of range on some of these plays. I just think you have to make stands like that to get the right exposures. And so Abe Answer is going to be one of my higher owned kind of in the 7K range plays.
Oh, baby doll.
I know it's right out of the gate. I'll know where I stand, come after Thursday when it gets to Friday. At least I can enjoy the weekend,
Is he the workbench?
No, I got some crap about the workbench play, but I feel very confident about it. So
it can't be worse than Answer.
It might be. I like him. I feel very good about him this week, guys. I do. Let's and we're getting close to him too. We're getting real close to him. And he has to beat my boy to get there. So let's go over to the Justin Thomas region. Again, they did not. So they made life very, if you're not familiar with this, they made life very easy on Rom and DJ compared to Justin Thomas. They did not do our boy JT any favors at all. He has to play Louis Oosthuizen, who's 23-14 in match play. Kevin Kisner, who's the defending champion, 14-5 in match play. And then Matt Kuchar, who's 29-7. I know he's dust right now. He's still good at match play events. So that is the group that they gave Justin Thomas right out of the gate, coming off his win at the Players' Championship. And then we got Group 15, Matthew Fitzpatrick, Matt Wolf, Corey Connors, and his buddy Jordan Spieth. What a great matchup that would be, Spieth JT. Hoop, I'm going to kick it over to you first. Talk to me about these two groups.
Yeah, they did JT no favors for the most part. I mean, I think you can honestly throw Kuchar's record kind of out the window. He's just not, he really fell off a cliff this last year, and he's just not the same golfer that he was. But, Kisner and Oosthuizen are very formidable opponents in this group of four. Makes it hard. I mean, it makes it really hard to play JT over Dustin, over Bryson, over John Rahm. But that means his ownership is going to be much, much lower than those guys. And Hoop's not smart enough to figure out the game theory on that. So maybe JT is a really good play in tournaments at low ownership. I don't know. I mean, I'll leave it up to you guys. Curious to see what you say. But I hate Louis Oosthuizen. I never play the guy. I never play him, but I'm going to be on him. I'm going to be on him here. I mean, he's plus 250 to come out of this region. If I'm not going to be on JT, which
that's what I'm talking about. Hoop.
Yeah. I mean,
that's the sign I was waiting for right there.
I never. Like it, but we got to have more conviction, though.
No, I mean, I'm going to play him. I mean,
wait till I talk about him.
Yeah,
I'll give you all the conviction in the world.
By me saying I'm playing Louis Oosthuizen, that's a bold statement because I never play Oosthuizen. I'm telling you this, I am never on Louis, and I'm on him this week. So me just saying that he's in my player pool, that's a bold freaking statement. Kisner, a little sprinkle. Kuchar, I'm not playing. I don't care. I mean, I hope people see that match play record and play Kuchar. Honestly, to me, if someone plays Kuchar, it's dead money. I feel very, very good about saying that. So definitely no Kuchar. The next group, though, is where I think I might be a little bit different than most people. I see a lot of people flocking to Spieth. That's fine. Whatever. I'm not playing Spieth. I don't care. He's a favorite. He's a betting favorite in this group. I will take Matthew Fitzpatrick over Spieth all day. Fitzpatrick is playing. I mean, I know Spieth is playing well. Fitzpatrick's playing just as well. And he's going to come in at lower ownership, cheaper price. Give me Fitzpatrick over Spieth all day. I'm good with that. Matthew Wolff playing so poorly right now. I mean, I don't think you can play Matthew Wolff. Corey Connors, I like. He's definitely going to be in my pool. So in this group of 8 guys, I like Oosthuizen, Kisner, Corey Connors, and Fitzpatrick.
Yeah, I like that. And I worry about Matt Wolff even winning a match. Something's up with him. And I'm a Matt Wolf guy, but I'm with you on Matt Wolf. Real quick, before I kick it to Uncle T, I forgot I printed all these out. So if you're not a member, I mean, this is kind of what the playbook looks like tonight. So like you can print it out and has all the regions, all the breakdowns and everything. So, I mean, it's a fantastic tool. Kind of out of Big T's playbook, print it out, marking it up. I learned a few things over at Big T's. I think it's going to, turn into a lot of money this week. So I feel very confident about that. But Uncle T, before I get to my confident plays, talk to me about these two groups.
Did we learn about your cornhole game at Big T's? That's the big question. Did you think it needs improvement? Can you get better? What's the deal with the cornhole game?
Let me talk.
Only because you mentioned it.
Hold on. I haven't played basketball, and I used to play all the time. I hadn't played in like 6 or 7 years. Like I used to do pickup games and all of that. I just had kids, whatever. We moved, didn't go back to that gym with the court. It's the first time I played ball in a long time. And, it took a little bit, but I got the jumper back. Haven't played bags in since college. So, I mean, that's not my thing. I love it though. I definitely would love to start playing more. Took a little bit, Uncle T. At the end, I was starting to hold my own though.
You did very well on the concrete. Now I do want to mention the bag situation because I know Hoop went on the NBA show and he thought that I wasn't listening, and he wanted to talk about how he took $20 from Uncle T, and that part is correct. I'll come on here real quick. We got a break in action. It's good time. We went halfway through the bracket. A quick story. So Hoop goes on the NBA show last night, and instead of starting the conversation by, Big T, Uncle T, they did a great job hosting, had a great time, just soften me up a little bit first, I could have taken it a little bit better. But no, what's he got to do? Big T or Uncle T called me out, said he wanted to take me on cornhole. Partially true. I said, hey, Hoop, you want to go play some cornhole? So if you took that as I called you out, great. Now, we went down, and to his credit, he took two $10 bills from Uncle T. I gladly paid him. There was a gale wind blowing. Couldn't really get the bags to stay on the court. He adds all this other stuff in, like my kids are there watching. Neither one of my boys were there, for the record. They got there later. So he added that part in, and then later said that when my brother got there, Big T Senior, that he didn't want to play with me. We played 3 straight games when you were up watching the MMA. So another incorrect statement. No, hold on. Another incorrect statement. And then lastly, I tried to partner up with Hoop, and I said, hey, let's go try to get a couple people and we'll play partners. I got no response from Hoop. And then I had to take JT to get some more alcohol. So then I left, came back, and then I lost my spot in the rotation. So that's the truth.
All right. Let me start from the back end of this story and go back to the beginning. So the back end of the story, Big T Senior, Tony's dad, when me and Big T partnered up at the end, we said, Big T Senior, pick your partner. We said, Uncle T's over there waiting. Big T Senior said, no, you smoked Uncle T. Uncle T's got to work his way back to be my partner. So that part is true.
You don't know him well enough, but go ahead.
That's what happened. I'm just giving you the facts on that. Now, the other part of the story, no gale force wins. Like, there's no gale force wins. It's Uncle T, I don't know if you were tired from watching basketball. I don't know what it was. You couldn't hit. I mean, honestly, I saw you playing all week, and you were better than the way you performed against Toop. All right, I will give you that credit.
Yep.
You were much better at cornhole. Maybe the pressure got to you. You knew
you definitely beat me, and I was happy to peel off that $20 bill to Hoop because I got that back and more on the card table. But
correct,
you did
and
beat
that's
me.
That's why I didn't feel bad beating you in the bag because I got worked at the card table by you and Snyder. So it was a little,
Yep.
that was a small piece back.
You'll give me a chance to get that back.
And then going back to the beginning of the story, I believe, and I had some drinks. I'm not going to lie, but I believe the way it went was you said, hey, Hoop, let's go play bags. I thought maybe we were going to partner up. I believe we couldn't find 2 other opponents. And you're like, hey, let's just go me versus you. We get down there and say, what are we playing for? $10. And Hoop won 2 games, and Hoop had some drinks. And, the whole thing with RPS is, we're going to talk shit to each other. We're going to have some fun. If I beat you and kept it a secret, like that would not have gone over well with the group. I mean, I had to let you have it a little bit. Yeah, it wasn't your kids. It must have been your nephews. I mean, there's like 30 knee house kids. There's like 5 to 10 brothers. They got the wives there. So many of them. It was hard to keep track of, but there were family members there watching the event. But no harsh feelings. It was a lot of fun. And I will say,
you were basically the co-host of this event. Like Big T didn't have a lot of this shit set up. Uncle T's the guy that came over with the sandwiches on Saturday, knowing that we were all going to be hungry. Uncle T is the one that got us the steaks and the burgers. Uncle T is the one that drove people to the party store to load up on more booze, which was surprising that we needed more booze because we went to the party store and spent like $650 day one. But, great weekend all around.
All right, AP, you want me to get started? I'm sorry. I had to get off on a little bit of a thing there. So,
yeah, real quick, I just wanted to, the crowd, if anyone's watching, probably playing NBA too, James Harden's still questionable. I'm showing a report. What?
I said this is troublesome.
What was that?
I just said this is troublesome.
Yeah, well, no, what's troublesome is I show a report is listed as active, but still questionable. Whatever that means. We will, if something happens with that, we will make a quick announcement. But Uncle T, the floor is yours.
Yeah, let's get into this bracket. I think we're going to have a lot of similar thoughts here, and we might be able to even move that workbench, AP, after workbench play of the day. After I get done talking to you, I love Louis Oosthuizen this week. He's actually he's actually in my top 3 favorite plays on the board. And it's a little bit scary because, like you guys mentioned, for all the same reasons, this little quadrant, if you will, other than Kuchar, who's clearly, been awful the last 6 months, I could literally see, and you guys could too, either of these other three guys, Kisner, defending champ, and also I think finished 4th back in 16. So he's got great history of playing well at these events. So I could easily see him coming out. And then again, JT, while we're talking about the other guys and JT not having the best match play record, clearly he could come out, even though we're not going to be on him. But Louis Oosthuizen is definitely my guy. Slow and steady on these match play tracks. Slow and steady generally will be pretty good in the end, meaning he's not going to get rattled playing JT or Kisner or Cooch. He's going to just do his thing. If he can avoid a withdrawal or a back creeping up on him overnight, I think Oosthuizen, I think could get out a couple rounds. So I'm really high on Oosthuizen for sure in group 2. Group 15 now, this is an interesting one for me. I'm definitely off of Matt Wolff because of the reasons we mentioned. He's just been awful, a couple withdrawals the last 3 tournaments that he's actually participated in. Spieth will get, a lot of the attention. I'm on Fitzpatrick or Connors. I don't know who I'm going to take out of this group just yet. I'm probably going to lean Fitzpatrick. He's just been, again, he's one of them guys that hits the ball straight. And in this type of format, he'll just sit and wait for that other guy to make a mistake. He's not a very long hitter. So again, Wolff will be further than him. Connors will be further than him. And honestly, if he can keep it in the fairway, Spieth will be further than him. So Fitzpatrick will be hitting first into almost all of these greens for the most part. And I like that. Just hit the greens, put pressure on the other 3 guys. So I'm probably going to side with Fitzpatrick in group 15.
Yeah, I like that. And there's the news. So, just a quick break. If you're not watching this show tonight, my apologies. But, for tonight's slate, NBA slate, actually the event's tomorrow. So if you're watching this tomorrow, you're doing it wrong. So James Harden is ruled in. That lineup is Harden. We got Brown, Harris, Green, DeAndre Jordan. So let me dive back into this, 2 groups. And let me give you a little bit more context to this play. So we got Justin Thomas. He's a 130 favorite to win his group, which honestly, I would much rather have Rom or DJ. They're all very similar in price. So JT is a fade for me this week, actually. I know game theory, whatever. I don't really care. Louis Oosthuizen is like, this is his type of format. This dude can be an absolute killer on the greens. His putting is phenomenal right now. I don't even know. I can't remember who it was. I was getting crap in chat. Like someone's talking about Daniel Berger, who's like hurt and like withdrew last week, and versus like play, and how we should be playing him or over like a guy like Oosthuizen, because Oosthuizen has a tougher bracket. First off, Matt Kuchar, I'm with you guys. He's out of my bracket. Out of this, I'm crossing him off. I will have 0 Matt Kuchar. I have interest in Kevin Kisner, but I'm very confident in Louis Oosthuizen. in this range. 23, 14, and 3. He is a plus 250 to win this group. And then look, I think he has massive upside. So he'll have to face in the Sweet 16 Fitzpatrick, Matt Wolff, Corey Connors, or Spieth. I think he dusts all those guys. I think Fitzpatrick is the guy who gets out. I know Spieth's getting talked up. My strategy with Spieth this week is just I'll have enough so he doesn't. If he kills me, like it's not going to kill me. I might be slightly underweight, basically, is what I'm saying, because I do think he has mild upside, but I do like Fitzpatrick more than him, and we get a discount. And the odds are all about the same. Like Spieth is like 190 plus 190. Fitzpatrick is plus 200. Matt Wolff, we cross off. Corey Connors, again, is a guy that's playing very well. He's one of those ball strikers. I have no problem with Corey Connors. I feel very good about Oosthuizen. I feel very good about Oosthuizen making it to the Elite Eight, where I think he can compete against the lower half of this group as well. And so, I mean, I don't know. I get it that it's a tough group. He has 2 tough matchups in Justin Thomas and in Kevin Kisner. Both guys, in my opinion, have a little bit of pressure coming in, though, too. It's just another narrative that I think actually holds some weight. Justin Thomas winning the Players, his first event, back from winning. Kevin Kisner being the defending champ. So just 2 other angles on why I think Oosthuizen comes out of this Group 2, smoking the division. He's the workbench player of the week. He's not only winning his group, he's moving on from the Sweet 16, and he's at least getting to the Elite Eight, if not the Final Four. So Oosthuizen is definitely my guy of the week. And then in Group 15, yeah, I mean, it's tough. We cross off Wolff. Connors is fine. I don't love it, though. I feel like Connors, if you look at some of the other guys that are plus 300 in their group, they're in the low 6K range. So I'm like, why isn't Connors, that, like, why isn't he lower? And so I'll probably be off him. I think Fitzpatrick is the guy that comes out of this group. So I know Hoop was on Fitzpatrick. Who is your other guy on the top round or in Group 2?
We're gonna have to do the full circle here on Louis. It's gonna be Louis, and it's gonna be Louis and Fitzpatrick for me.
I like it. Uncle T, same. Oh, look at this donkey.
Yep, same.
Donkey.
Same 2 for me. I'm going Louis Oosthuizen and Matty Fitzpatrick.
Things you love to see. Things you absolutely love to see.
So let's go down to this next group. I'm going to change it up on you guys. I'm going to start with you this time, Uncle T. Let's go Group 10 and Group 7. Talk to me about the bottom half of the Justin Thomas bracket.
Hang on, I got to turn my phone off. Our buddy Bill Asiri that brought all the pizzas and chicken up to us on Fridays bugging the shit out of me. He didn't know I'm on a show. Anyway, you were on mute, weren't you, Hoop?
Me?
Yeah. No?
No.
All right, let's break down this group. So I'll start with Group 10. This is the group that, for me, I have the least conviction about. I don't like any of them, quite frankly. I really don't like any of them. I don't care for Cantley in this format. He is 4-2, which is very respectable. I just don't know if I'm going to go to Cantley, probably because of the pricing. I just can't get there and be able to play him. Matsuyama is a guy that I just think is pretty cold right now. He's starting to play a little bit better. His is all about putting, and in match play, clearly putting is a huge factor, getting hot with the blade on the green. So Carlos Ortiz, I can make a case for, but I'm probably going to stick with, again, I said it a couple times with guys tonight, slow and steady. Brian Harmon, I know, he's going to hit fairways, right? He doesn't do anything special. He's not going to hit the 340-yard drives. But in this type of format, those are the types of guys I like to target. He's not going to get rattled. He played well and was in the hunt a couple weeks ago when Big T won all the money, in that tournament. He was on one of his, on the winning team. So for no other reason, I'm going to take Harmon. But for sure, I have the least conviction in this little group of 4. I really don't know and don't have anything solid really as far as coming out of there with a pick. Now Group 7, I do, and I hope you guys are either on me or against me. It could be another one. I'm going with Patrick Reed. I'm just Hoop said earlier he's going to stick with guys that have been treating him well. I play Patrick Reed in these Ryder Cup formats heads up, and I've been playing him in the match play stuff. He's just made for these type of events. I think he was 6-0 going all the way back to his college days with match play. It's made for him. And I hope people aren't on him. I really do. Because again, it's him and one other guy. He doesn't have to beat 156 guys. If he blows up on one hole, it's not going to affect him. But Patrick Reed for sure is my top play out of this group. Now, the one wild card in here for me, and there's some three other good golfers, Neiman, Watson, and Bezuidenhout, or however you pronounce it. He's the guy that I'm actually worried about. He's coming in playing a lot better the last month. We always seem to find an international guy in this event, right, guys, where, they'll just randomly pop up in this match play and they'll get to like the final 8 or the final 4. Like I remember Victor Dubuisson, the one year where it's like he just came out of nowhere and got to the finals. I could see Christian Bezuidenhout, if he can get through this group and upset Reed, in my opinion, which I don't think he will, but he's the one I'm worried about the most. I think he could do some damage and maybe get out a little bit further. But for purposes of the pick, Patrick Reed is one of my favorite plays on the board. I'm going to go with Reed in Group 7.
Yeah, I have no issues with those two picks at all. Hoop, let me kick it over to you. Groups 10 and 7 in this range. What are you doing with these guys?
Yeah, I agree with Uncle T in one of these groups, and it's the group 10. I'm not thrilled with any of the guys here. I'm not excited about Cantlay. I'm not excited about Matsuyama. I'm not all that excited about Carlos Ortiz. It leaves us with my boy Brian Harmon. I always love Harmon. Harmon 7.2K, just a steady guy. I don't think, competing with Cantlay or Matsuyama will scare him at all. Harmon is going to be my guy here kind of by default, but not really, because I always like Harmon. So he just seems like he's a little more – it seems like he should be in the 6K range, but I'm fine going with Harmon at 7.2. Next range, I mean, if you guys watch this show or follow our plays, you guys know I'm never on Patrick Reed. And this is the one that scares me the most, though, this sort of format, being off Patrick Reed. I'm not going to play him, but it does scare me being off of him. He's a guy I think that could definitely make a run here. The guys I am going to be on, Neiman, for sure. I think he's a really good value at 8K. And Bezuidenhout at 7.6. He's been playing really solid golf. Good price tag here. I could definitely see him coming out and making a little run. So for me, the three guys kind of in this little group of 8 is going to be Harmon, Neiman, and Bezuidenhout.
I like that. Yeah, I really like this. So like I was talking about it, some of my favorite values. When we're talking about the studs and the upside in some of the groups that we've already hammered. Like when I look at this top region, there's a lot of good plays, and it's tough. It's definitely stacked, but I would not be surprised at all if in the Elite 8, if it was Brian Harmon against Louis Oosthuizen, two smaller guys, steady Eddie. I would not be surprised at all if that's what we're looking at. And then you look at John Rahm, so now you got your 3 on that side, and then you go with a Bryson or a DJ. You could probably make that build work. And I think it has a ton of upside if that scenario pans out. So I absolutely love that. I'll keep it short and sweet with Group 10. It's Brian Harmon for me. And we didn't talk at all before this show. And I love some of these picks. I mean, Cantlay's fine, plus 138 to get out of his group. I'm not on Hideki. His price is interesting. He's let us down. Carlos Ortiz has always been an interesting guy. It wouldn't surprise me if he won, but Brian Harmon is so steady Eddie. I think he could. I don't see any of these guys in this group kind of blowing him away. 7,200. I think you're getting a phenomenal value, and I think plus 338 is a good bet too. So Brian Harmon plus 338, Louis Oosthuizen plus 220 to get out of their group. This is going to be a good. I might have to put some bets up on the bet side, or just look at what Snyder's on. But then we're looking at Abe Answer too, plus 222. There's some really really nice odds because Abe Answer in his group has he has a cupcake matchup. No one there, not even Victor Hovland's going to give him any fits. Right, Uncle T. So Group 7 for me. I got to agree with Uncle T here. I think Patrick Reed, if I'm him, he's very good in this format. 16, 10, and 3, plus 150 to make it out of his group. Not a guy I play very often, but in this format, Christian Bezudno, he's not going to give him any fits. Bubba Watson is another guy that has good historical record in this type of format. He's just sucked lately. I don't have any interest in him. Neiman is one of my guys, though, that if I wasn't playing Reed in this group, it would be Neiman. I feel like I'm going to end up being underweight or like in this group, so it's going to be Reed or nothing for me in this group. And then if you're thinking about the top end, because you got to have exposure to some of these guys, it's Harmon. I think so. It's Reed and Harmon are the two interesting guys to come out of the bottom half of the Justin Thomas region for me. Real quickly, Uncle T, your two, if you could say them one more time.
Mute.
Should we just let them go?
Got it again. Daggone it.
Yeah, that's twice. You
Harmon,
sure Victor Hovland's going to beat Abe Anson?
No, Harmon in Group 10. I got a little bit of a runny nose for the record. I got a little bit of a cold overnight, so I've been trying to mute myself a little bit. So in Group 10, Harmon, and Group 7, Reed for Uncle T.
Okay, yeah. And then Hoop was on Harmon, and Hoop was on Neiman, right?
Yep, Harmon, Neiman.
Okay, yeah, very good picks there. Let's go down to the bottom half, the John Rahm region. Region I love, a region I think that is really going to give us some of the winners too, especially when we get to the bottom half. Let's start with Group 6 and Groups 11. Group 6 is Xander, Scotty Scheffler, Jason Day, Andy Sullivan. Group 11 is Rory, Cam Smith, Lanto Griffin, Ian Poulter. I'm going to start with you, Uncle T.
Yeah, Group 6 for me, I think it's one of the stronger groups on the board. When you got Andy Sullivan down there at number 57, if you will, out of the 64, not going to wow you. He's not a great player. He's a solid player. He actually has some match play experience. He's 4-7, but he's come up big in some of the Ryder Cup things and such. But and then you talk about the guys above him, Jason Day, who's won this event twice, I believe in 14 and 16. So he's won this event and has had success in match play. Xander, obviously, in the regular stroke play events, he's been on fire. Has been a little bit cool of late, but he's been playing some really good golf. Scheffler comes in as a first-timer, you know what I mean? So this is an interesting group for me. I think I'm going to come out of here with Jason Day, and I think where I'm going with that is I just feel like the experience of playing in this format, again, a one-on-one, I think he might the matchup I really want to see is Day and Scheffler. Some people want to see Xander and Scheffler, but I just think Jason Day is made for these types of one-on-one events and match play. He just got to change to a different swing coach, and he's made 4 straight cuts. T7, T18, T31, and T35. So he's been playing a lot better lately, a lot more consistent golf. So I'm going to go with Jason Day. Which may be a little bit contrarian when you got Schauffele and everybody's darling Scheffler, who I like as well. But I'm going to go Jason Day in Group 6. And in Group 11, this one's one where you guys could get on Uncle T a little bit. I initially had Cam Smith earlier in the day. He was a guy that I really liked the price tag. Where was Cam Smith? Anybody got 8,500? Been playing some really good golf. It's very good, in match play, 4-4. But again, I think that's
real quick, Uncle T. Let me cut you off real quick. Yeah. I'm either going to love it or hate it because I know which. Well,
you know where I'm going. So I'm actually going to go with Rory McIlroy, and I'll tell you why.
No, Uncle T. No.
Yep. Yeah, but I'll tell you why. And I think actually he gets out a couple rounds. I'll even take it a step further. I think he plays Rahm in the round of 16 as a little additional tidbit from Uncle T. But so look at it this way: he doesn't have to beat 156 golfers, right? He's just playing one guy. And he is the reason why he has struggled of late he's been playing at times some good golf, 2-3 good rounds. He just struggles in one round. So where I'm going with that is if he takes a double or if he goes out of bounds and takes a 6 or a 7, it's only going to hurt him in one hole here. Whereas, you know what I mean? Like, it's not going to kill him and knock him down the leaderboard in a regular stroke play event. I know you can say that about any of these guys, but with Rory struggling lately of making big numbers, I think this format might bring him back into play as far as getting out a couple rounds. So I'm actually going to side with Rory Mcilroy. I think his ownership's going to be a little bit, lower than I think it should be. So Lonto Griffin, I don't mind as a flyer. And then Ian Poulter, he's one of the ones out of this whole group of 64 where he's got the best, I think, winning percentage, right? 43-18, just is unbelievable, but he is playing very poorly. He has not really done much of late, so I'll have no exposure to Griffin and Poulter. I'll probably have I think I'm going to make 5 lineups. I'll probably go 80% Rory, and I will have 1 lineup with Cam Smith.
Yeah, we'll have some disagreements there for sure, but I do respect it. So a few quick notes. Scotty Scheffler, I do think will be very popular this week. People are going to talk up the home course narrative. Semi-home course. I don't know if I'd call it a home course. Like a lot of these guys have probably played it just as much as him because they played in this event a ton. So it is what it is. But and then Rory. I mean, that's interesting. I will say, I believe he brought on a new swing coach, and so there's some changes there. His price is interesting. That's all I'll say. His price is interesting. Hoop, what are you doing with Group 6 and Group 11?
Yeah, honestly, I don't love a ton here. I mean, I get the logic on Rory. I'm just not doing it. Like, we held strong for a while. I caved in the 1 week, and it cost me. I don't care. Like, I'm not playing him. I'm playing these other guys up top over him. Problem is, though, I mean, I just don't like many guys in his little group of 4. Ian Poulter's one that stands out. That match play record is very impeccable. Problem is he hasn't been playing very good, like Uncle T said. So I'll probably be looking to him here in this group. Cam Smith, I mean, man, 8.5K just doesn't feel great. In Group 6, I mean, Xander Schauffele, I can't play him for 10K when he's got to face these other guys. Scotty Scheffler just feels like this isn't the right format for him. I kind of hope he's popular. I actually really do hope he's popular because I'm just not going to play him. Guy, I really like those Jason Day, and I think this is an event where he can do well. The obvious concern with Jason Day is he's a massive PUS, and there's the risk that he just hangs it up. But I'm going to back Jason Day here this week. And then Andy Sullivan at 6K, I'm not going to do that. So, I mean, the problem I have in this little group here is I don't love really anyone. I'm going to be on Day. I'm going to be on Poulter. Maybe I end up just playing some Lanto because I don't like anything else. It's kind of where I'm at in this group of 8.
Yeah, when it comes to me in Group 6, me and Kay Fallick were talking in Discord earlier, and I know he's very high on Scotty Scheffler. I respect that pick. I mean, Scheffler, I think he's going to be popular because he's under 8K. He's from the area. He's probably played there, a good amount of times. But the discussion we were having was, Oosthuizen's group in the strength of it versus Group 6. I think Scheffler, I think Group 6 is tougher for Scotty Scheffler and Jason Day and Xander. Like, Jason Day is very good in this format. He's actually, he's been hit or miss recently, but he's actually shown signs of good recent form. I think it only take a guy that is good in this format. It's only going to take them 1 win over someone, and that'll get him going. And so he's got to face Xander, who's just a killer in these WGC events. And then he has to face Jason Day. I think it's tough. Out of this group, I'm actually underweight. I'm torn. I have a lot of Scotty Scheffler, but I've been slowly reducing it just because I feel it's kind of a trap. So I'll probably be underweight this group entirely. I do love the Jason Day call. His price is very nice. He has upside in an event like this. He's shown it. Obviously a winner of this event and in this format, with his 24-14 record. So I might be with you, Uncle T. I might be changing paths here. I originally had Scotty Scheffler. I might join forces with my guy, Uncle T, and I might go with Jason Day. Can I give you another reason to like him? Yeah, go ahead.
Not that ownership. I honestly, we talk about it real quick all the time about ownership. In this event, I see the top guy like Hatton and DJ up at 20, and that's it. So it's condensed. But that being said, if you did worry about ownership, I've got Jason Day around 7%, which is near the bottom of, you know what I mean, the ownership. So another reason to throw him in. The price is good, the ownership's good, and it's a good play.
Yeah, I definitely like that. Jason Day for me in that group 6. I will have shares of Scotty Scheffler because I do think he's a guy that has swagger, has a very good game. Would not be surprised if he made it out of this group.
I think about it though. Rory? I can't get you on
board.
Okay,
let me get to group 13. Let me talk about this group. Another interesting group because Cam Smith, you have to really respect his game right now. I think Rory's getting some name recognition there for the plus 130. I do think Cam Smith and Rory should be much closer. Like I have Cam Smith maybe plus 180, maybe plus 200. Rory at plus 150 with everything he's had going on and with how bad he's looked. I will admit, maybe who does he get paired up with in the first day? Do you know, Uncle T?
Which one? Who, Rory?
Rory, is it Cam Smith right out of the gate?
Let me try to find it for you.
Yeah. Either way, if he gets a good win, like if he plays Lanto Griffin right out of the gate, I think it could be very interesting because if he gets a win, that's momentum. That's what he needs. If he plays Ian Poulter, who a countryman of his, Englishman, just like I very good, 43, 18, and 5. Like Poulter is a guy. I know his form is questionable for sure. He did finish 26th at the Arnold Palmer. He did finish 25th at the Masters. He shows up for big events like this. I actually love Poulter this week, 6,700. He's plus 400 to win his group. But, man, if he could come out and get a win over Rory or whoever he plays in the first round.
Yeah, I found it. He's actually they're first off the tee tomorrow morning. They're the very first match. Rory and Poulter tomorrow morning.
Oh, I think that's trouble for Rory. Like if Poulter gets a win over Rory right out of the gate.
Lights out.
Lights out. Look, his 43, it's 44 now and 18. Cam Smith, Lanto Griffin, just looking at that mighty head-to-head record. I mean, man, like that is.
Slide on in.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, we'll talk. We'll talk for sure. Get something going, Uncle T. The more I'm looking at this, we need some dogs. We need some guys in the 6K range. We need upside. Ian Poulter, he's been there before. Form's questionable. But again, all it takes for a guy like that is one win. He gets that one win and he got all the momentum in the world. And so when you're thinking about that, when you're thinking about getting Brahm, when you're thinking about getting the Dustin Johnson, the Brysons that we all want because they have so much upside in events like this, you're going to need a guy like Ian Poulter. So, man, so we've taken a lot of dogs. I'm taking notes here. I had Cam Smith, and I'm pulling another fast one on you, Uncle T. I'm going Ian Poulter out of this group because I know you're on Rory right out of the gate tomorrow. We got me, Ian Poulter. He's going to beat Rory. And then you know what else is going to happen? Our boy Abe Answer is going to beat Victor Hovland. Is going to send Uncle T to the sheets early. Just like Hoop did. Just like Hoop did.
My laptop will be shut pretty quick.
He pretended like he didn't hear it. He pretended like he didn't hear it.
Oh,
I heard you.
No. But in all seriousness, I'm going to say Ian Poulter plus 400 to win the group. I think he's going to be the guy that wins. He's a value I absolutely love, and he frees up a ton this week. And we'll see. I'll know exactly where I stand with some of my main builds right out of the gate. If I had to pick a number 2 in Group 11, it would be Cam Smith, and then up top, Jason Day. Real quick, who are the 2 guys for you? Group 6, Group 11.
Yeah, we're in lockstep here. It's gonna be Jason Day, and I'm gonna go Poulter.
Oh, God.
I like it. And then we got Rory.
You guys don't like money
Jason
the way
Day,
I thought
right?
you'd like money. Poulter,
you took all my money in poker. I'm trying to get it back.
I agree. I'm full equal opportunity. I'm going to give you a chance to get some of that money back. I may even ask you guys if I can get a prop where Poulter goes 0-3. How about that for a hot take?
I'll take that.
Well, I'm sure you will. Obviously, I'm just saying I need to get some odds that he goes 0-3. He's playing awful.
No, I mean,
just awful. Who could go out there and beat Poulter right now? Look at his numbers.
No.
He's not the same golfer.
Stop it, Uncle T.
You're saying that in the same.
He frees up salary.
You're saying that in the same breath as talking about Rory McIlroy.
He frees up salary. Oh, come on!
What has Rory done?
You can't put Rory and Poulter in the same golf.
The results last event were pretty damn similar.
Oh, come on!
Until he beats him tomorrow. He's gonna say Rory just brought on this new swing coach. Rory just brought on this new swing coach or whatever.
That's a good thing.
No,
that's a good thing. Why is
after
that
he gets dusted by Ian Poulter, he's gonna fire him and get another one. I'm telling you. It's what we're gonna see.
Wrong. Okay, I have no problem coming on here next week and taking my L. I took it on the court. when
if he beats you, he beats you, right?
That's right.
Oh man! All right, let's get to this final group of the John Rahm region. Groups 14 and 3. Groups 14: Daniel Berger, Harris English, Brendan Todd, Eric Van Ruin. The group 3 is John Rahm, Ryan Palmer, Shane Lowry, Sebastian Munoz. I'm going to kick it over to you, Hoop, first. Talk to me about 14 and 13.
Yeah, so group 14, I have some concerns with Berger. Obviously, they said he had a rib injury, withdrew last event. He's the favorite in this group to come out, but I don't think I can play him for the 9K. Not a great match play record either, 2-8. But he's a different golfer the last year and a half, so I'm not really too concerned with the 2-8. A little more concerned with the rib injury and where he's really at right now. Harris English is another guy that has. This group's pretty bad all around. Harris English hasn't been golfing all that well, but 4-2 in match play, 7.3K. That's the thing. He's 7.3K plus 250 to get out of this group. Because of that price tag, I'm gonna have to look at Harris English. Don't mind Brendan Todd if I need a punt. He's 6.4K. I could potentially go there. Eric Van Rooyen is a guy that people play. I don't play him. I think he's not very good, so I will be off him. And then similar to Dustin Johnson, John Rahm gets a dream draw here. Ryan Palmer, Shane Lowry, Sebastian Munoz. I think DJ's is probably a little easier, maybe a little more resistance here, but John Rahm's been good in match play events, 10.7K. He's close to even money to come out of this group of 4. So really like Rahm, very difficult to play any of these other guys. Harris English in group 14, maybe a little bit of Brendan Todd. It would not be much. The only reason I'm playing Todd is because I don't really like this group at all. I'm a Daniel Berger guy. I just cannot play him here. So English, maybe Todd, and then John Rahm's a phenomenal play.
I like it, Uncle T. Oh, no.
Mute again.
No.
Mute again. 3 in a row. Group 14, Berger is one of my guys. I know we've played him quite a bit when he was in that, playing well earlier in the when the season started in January. He's got an injury. There's no way I'm going to put any eggs in the basket of Daniel Berger right now. Harris English had a little back issue in the last tournament. He said he's got it worked out, but I agree, Hoop. He's got a good price, and he opens up some things. But for me, I am going to go down a little bit more to Brendan Todd. He's down there at, what was he, 6,400, I think?
64.
And he's going to be my Ian Poulter play from the standpoint of salary. I think in this group, again, when you have Berger and English as the two, quote unquote, higher rated players and higher ranked players, I'm just going to go down a little bit to Brendan Todd and take a chance. I don't think no matter who comes out of this group of 4, they're not going to beat John Rahm. So I don't mind taking a stab on Brendan Todd to save some salary. And EVR, he's a guy I typically don't play because I can't ever get him right. He does randomly show up and contend. But for me, in this group, I'm going to take an upset in Brendan Todd. And then in the bottom group, I am going to go John Rahm. I do think it'll be fairly easy for him in this group. The one thing I will say, and the guy that I am a little bit worried about in this group of 4 is Shane Lowry. Doesn't have the greatest match play record. However, he's been playing some good golf. He finished 8th at the Players, and then last week at the Honda, after 2 rounds, I think he co-led and then faded quite a bit on the weekend. So I think Rahm gets out of here pretty easily. If there was a slip up, I think maybe Lowry could slip in there. But I'll go Rahm, and I will go Brendan Todd.
Yeah, we have a lot of agreements here. Group 14, it's tough. Berger, very tough road. Out, you got to worry about I heard he's like 70% or something, and he withdrew. I mean, he's a fade for me. He's one of our guys, but when I look at his 2-8 record, you can discount. If he was healthy, I would discount that record because of his form right now. But man, if he's not a full go and he withdrew last week, why? He's got a tough battle against Rahm eventually anyway. So I'm definitely off him. I think Harris English is kind of interesting. And I think I like the Todd call as an absolute punt.
Yeah.
I'd almost rather go Ian Poulter though, because I am very John Rahm's my favorite play outside of Oosthuizen, my favorite play of the week. I think he has by far the most upside. I think Rahm, I think it could look like this. I think it could be Rahm against a Brendan Todd, like you said, or a Harris English. Then I think it will be in the next group up, it'll be like an Ian Poulter or I think Rahm is going to have a very nice path to the Final Four this week. And I think he's has a great shot at doing that, which he did in his debut. When Rahm debuted here at the Match Play event, he made it to Final Four. I think he's going to do better than that this week. Just my prediction. So coming out of Group 3 for me is John Rahm easily. And then I have Harris English, but I don't love it. I do love his price. Because I'm fading Berger, I do have Harris in there. I will have ownership on him. And it's my builds that I don't have John Rahm in. I'm making sure that a guy like Harris English or Brendan Todd is in there, because I'm not playing anyone else from Group 3. Ryan Palmer fade, Shane Lowry fade, Munoz is a fade for me. The only case that you can make, I think, for Munoz is 6-1. If you're doing cash games and you want, you'd probably just go in cash games. Get hoop stake there, but you wouldn't want Munoz because you'd probably want Rahm. You don't want to play.
Probably go to a Streelman if you're full punting, to Streelman or, even a guy like Gooch, maybe Leishman. Guys like that, if you're gonna punt in cash games, you want to target these cheaper guys that aren't in the same group of 4 as the big dogs, the Rahms and the Brysons and the DJs.
All right, guys, it's that time. Hopefully you're kind of making a mental note. We're gonna talk about our Final Four. I feel very confident on the right side of the bracket. I feel decently confident on the other side. Uncle T, do you have your Final Four ready to go?
I do. Kind of chalky. I do like some upsets early, and I do have a couple upsets to get to the Sweet 16. But for my Final Four, I'm going to go with DJ and Hovland over on the left side. And then over on the right side of the bracket, I'm going Patrick Reed and John Rahm. So those are my 4 in the Final Four.
Who do you got as a winner?
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought we were going to go. Okay, so then I got Hovland playing Rahm.
We'll do that.
Yeah, that's what I thought we were going to. Yeah, let's do that.
Hoopster, who do you have for your Final Four?
So Uncle T's just taking all the guys 9,500 and above that are 12, 14 to 1 to win the event. All right, that's cool. I see how this is going to be. You're gonna let the chalk donkey outdo you with some long shots, huh? All right, here we go. I got Bryson. I'm gonna get the chalky guys out of the way first. I got Bryson and I got Rahm in there. I'm gonna go with my boy. Huh?
Go ahead.
I'm gonna go with my boy Harmon. I think Harmon is gonna make a run at this event. Okay, so I like Harmon, and then my super long shot pick to get to the Final Four, and you guys can make fun of me, is Mark Leishman. So I got Leishman, Bryson, Harmon, and Rahm.
I like that call. So for me, so I got Paul Casey, 8.9K on DraftKings, winning the Dustin Johnson region. I got Abe Answer winning the Colin Morikawa region, which should be the Bryson. He's 7.7K. I got Louis Oosthuizen, 8.1, winning the JT region. And I got Rahm winning the Rahm region, 10.7K. That's Uncle T. So who's going to be the champion? Who do you got winning this thing?
Yeah, I've got Hovland coming on the left side. I know you're talking about chalk, but none of you guys liked Hovland to even get out of his little pot of 4. So I got Hovland making it all the way to the finals on the left side, beating Dustin Johnson in the semis. And then I've got Rahm over Reed. And then for the finals, I've got Rahm over Hovland. So John Rahm is going to be my winner.
Well, I like that. Who?
I'm going to take, like I said, I'm going to take Bryson. I think there's going to be a big intimidation factor at this event. I mean, just all these guys seeing what he's been doing lately. I think there's an intimidation. And you've heard it in the press conferences from some of these guys, like even Rory talking about changing his game to replicate what Bryson's doing and realizing that it probably wasn't the best decision for him and it's ruined his iron play. He's in these guys' head. And Big T's talked about it a ton on the golf shows and his golf content. Like, he's in the head of these guys, and in the match play event, I think he can take advantage of that. So give me Big Daddy Bryson here.
Yeah, I like that. And, I got Bryson against Answer, and I got Answer just, I like that value play. I got Answer over Casey. Answer making it to the finals against John Rahm. I got John Rahm winning. So I'm there with Uncle T. Uncle T, we agree on the winner, and we disagree on a bunch of other things, which is okay. That's how this should be. Good stuff, guys. Do you have any final thoughts? Any, strategy-wise, any last final comments, Uncle T?
No, I mean, it's definitely a fun week. And again, when we see this pool play out Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, it could be where, again, Uncle T may not even open his laptop Saturday and Sunday. You know what I mean? Because again, it's so volatile where we know there's going to be upsets, whether it's guys we were on, whether it's guys we were off, or maybe John Rahm slips up in the first or second round. You just don't know in this type of an event, but it's a lot of fun. You got 3 straight days of match play as far as all of the guys playing, and a lot of wagering. You know what I mean? You can get in there and dig in and find some good odds on the heads up. So I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah, I agree. Hoop.
Yeah, I mean, it's like we kind of talked about in the open. Make sure when you're building your teams that you have in mind what you need to do. 3 from each side, like we talked about. A lot of people in the past, the numbers have shown, have built teams improperly. So, when these contests kick off on tomorrow morning, there's going to be a lot of dead lineups out there. So if you build your teams properly, you're already going to have a big leg up on the competition.
Yeah, I agree, and that's why I'm starting to become more of a 150 max player with PGA. As we've been talking about, I did it last week. Didn't get the bink, but I made 2.5, or no, right around 2 times my money. We had Matt Jones. Was very overweight on him. Thought it was a very good play. The thing is too that I noticed, I was starting off maxing out that $5 one just to test some strategies, not going too heavy or anything, and. Matt Jones was only like 10% in that $5, which wasn't he like 30-35% in higher stakes stuff, Hoop?
Yeah, and the higher stakes stuff, he was way up there, which I've never seen a discrepancy like that. There's a huge discrepancy between the ownership.
Yeah, so I feel the edge this week is in multi-entering. I feel it's in, locking in the rules that we're setting and going, going for that win. And because there's going to be a lot of dead lineups in there, and I think if you set your optimizer correctly, put in the right rules, and mess around with it, I think you're going to give yourself a nice shot this week to take down something big. With that in mind, let's end it there, boys. I feel very good about this week. So with me, AP, Uncle T, and Hoop, let's all run Pier and see some green screens this week.